Okay, so I haven't really documented any of this up until this point because honestly I didn't think any of it was really going to work out at any stage of it. And I'm still pretty apprehensive that what I originally was thinking is going to still be the, what actually fucking happens. But in case it does, I figured like a little bit of, you know, it's good for posterity. Anyway, so what we got here is what was a pretty detailed pencil drawing of Mac Miller that I did on canvas paper, which is pretty thick. You know, it's like construction paper, but woven, so you can actually paint on it. Anyway, so started with that, and then underneath that is a canvas, 10 by 10 canvas that I guess technically it's just like a pre-wash that you would do with any canvas, but I did it with a lot more gusto than necessary, so that it's actually got some interesting things happening in it. And then, so what I did was took a long time to figure out the best way. I mean, because I know that there's better ways. I know that there's, I could go on some app or whatever, and there's like a fucking, a filter or something that could reproduce like the hard contrast, deep line kind of representation that this kind of is. But I didn't do any of that. I just sat down, looked at what I drew, and decided, more like sculpting than anything else, like what could I take away from it in order to make it look enough like the detailed drawing that I did. Well, actually, just look anything like the detailed drawing. But how can I make this very simple, blocky thing represent what I drew in a, well, it's not three-dimensional, but it's a, I guess, I don't know, is that three-dimensional? No, it's two-dimensional. But it's basically taking a style that I'm very good at, and whatever, I'm good at doing pencil drawings now. Now, after tons and tons of practice, I'm not as great at with the oil painting because it's a lot of, there's not as much control, and I'm a fucking control freak, and I get pissy pants about shit. But when something really works out, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, that's amazing. When I do a good pencil drawing, I'm like, throw it in the pile. So there's like that aspect, and that's why I wanted to like try something. I'm sure people have done this or something like this, but I've never seen it. I never heard of it, so it was cool to me to be like, you know what? I'll try something completely different. If it turns out that it sucks and it's fucking lame or whatever, that's fine. I'm very, very, very used to doing shit that sucks and is lame. But on the off chance that it turns out to be something cool and different and something that my time was used in a way that I feel is not only beneficial in the way that like all of this art shit that I do kind of I feel like is beneficial, but like in a way that is beneficial as it's all creative, but I feel like just doing the pencil drawings or even oil paintings is also kind of just like, oh, well, I'm just doing something that a million other people do. And like I said, I'm sure a million other people do something like this, but I would be surprised if there's anybody that took the time to go through the steps that I've gone through to quite possibly just fuck this up right now. Because I mean, the drawing itself took a few hours. I mean, it was a detailed, nice drawing. It's on the other side of this, obviously, so you can't see it, but you would still be able to see. I mean, the shading in the face. It was a full on pencil drawing, black and white. Plus to do the canvas, which is underneath how it's done. Plus to figure out how to do this with an X-Acto blade, scissors, blowtorch, fucking demolition saw, you know, whatever I needed to do to get this kind of structure that was part of it too, was figuring out how to keep this a structure that would stay where it needs to stay in order for me to do this. It took a long time. But, you know, I think that kind of shit is cool and worth it, and even if, like, hey man, you could have just done that like this. Hey man, suck my asshole. I did something that I feel like was a good, you know, use of my time. So, I mean, I guess that was kind of rude. But don't tell me like, oh, dude, you did that. Yeah, I know I could use a filter, but you know, maybe you could sit down and learn how to do learn some skills, bruh. Learn some skills. Fucking filter right in here. Anyway, so I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna document the actual doing of this because it's gonna be super stressful. I think because I'm gonna have to be like very cognizant of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and if I fuck it up, it's fucked. There's not a lot of fixing this if I fuck it up. So we'll see. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter if there's a camera going, but if I'm thinking about that, maybe I'm not thinking about this, and then maybe this gets fucked up, and then maybe I throw the camera through the fucking wall. So, that's where we're at, folks. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Kiss a vet. I'm a vet. Kiss me.